Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at who's headed your way and what do they have to say. So there are three groups to choose from. Group one is the Fire Agate, along with this group of cards. Group two is the Mica, along with this group of cards. And group three is the Snowflake Obsidian, along with this group of cards. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups, or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to, I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps for each group in the description box of the video if you would like to jump ahead. Hi, group one. You chose the Fire Agate, along with this group of cards, which I will start with to get an idea about who's headed your way. So we have the Five of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, the Star, Sacred Earth Mother, a message of love, Witch's Cottage, security, and Moon, cycles. So with the cycles and the moon coming out here, This could be somebody that you have gone back and forth with, maybe through several cycles of kind of coming together, things being really good between the both of you, only to have this person drift away, maybe circumstances in both your lives kind of propelling you both in opposite directions, or something about the intensity of the connection maybe causing this person to run, so kind of a runner-chaser dynamic here. And it almost seems like something where it's gotten to the point that you can almost predict sort of the change in the energetic climate, or maybe a particular time of year that has typically really signaled this person kind of coming back around. This could also be somebody that maybe works in some kind of a job where seasonally they are very busy and don't have a lot of time to invest in the connection. Maybe, for example, they are a teacher, and so through the majority of the year, the school year, a lot of their attention is really invested in that, but then they have summers off, for example. And so through your experience with this person, summertime might be a significant time where you're able to really have a more in-depth interaction with them. They seem to be able to invest more in the connection, less distraction happening. The moon can also indicate that it's very unclear about this person, what their ultimate kind of intention is with this connection, where they may have kind of been projecting sort of a hot and cold energy, but really also with the Page of Pentacles, not giving any kind of substantial information to you, any kind of a solid answer, or any kind of a stable sort of reassurance about where they see the connection going in the future. There's a sense of this person really holding a lot back. Somebody who could also be kind of emotionally withdrawn, not very comfortable in dealing with their emotions, or when things get a little too intimate on that emotional level, they pull back, they kind of retreat from you. With this witch's cottage and security, this can be somebody that you have lived with at some point in time, or somebody that lives in proximity to you. So geographic distance might not be a huge factor in this connection. They could be somebody that lives in your town, kind of lives locally. This could be something where also you have a lot of shared experiences in your neighborhood, in your town, even in kind of social circles, or different groups or clubs or organizations, activities that you do, to where even when this person is kind of emotionally withdrawn, they may still to some level and some degree be in your physical existence. You're able to see them, or there are reminders of this person kind of all around you. There's also this sense that when they do come back together and there's this kind of shared intimacy between the both of you, when they're at a place where they're able to give, and kind of the relationship sort of starts again with this Page of Pentacles, that in that very initial phase, there's a sense of sanctuary with this person. There's a sense of home with this person, a sense of closeness, that the intimate time spent together, kind of the quiet afternoons or evenings at home, are some of the fondest memories that you have of this person. But this could even be somebody where maybe when it gets time to introduce them to your family, or kind of the discussion about putting an official title on the dynamic going on between the both of you, or really stepping things up to the next level, maybe even discussions about moving in with one another if you haven't previously lived together, or not currently in some form of cohabitation, that when this kind of subject is broached, or kind of maybe people around you, people in their lives are starting to sort of take the next step, the next phase in terms of their domestic connections, that this sort of triggers something within this person, to where they kind of withdraw, they pull away. And also with the cycles, you may have gone round and round with this person on several occasions in that capacity. With this sacred earth mother here, this can talk to about, first of all, an earth sign that you are dealing with, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. But this also really talks about this desire in conjunction with this witch's cottage and security to really ground this. A lot of intensity, a lot of passion felt between the both of you, but really just kind of missing the mark as far as being able to establish something very solid and very reliable, something that in the long term has stability, as kind of indicated with this sort of immature energy of the page here. So this could be somebody where you haven't known them for very long, perhaps, or it's just been very difficult for them to really evolve the connection past a certain level in the material sense. This can also really talk with this this imagery here of the heart, very much illuminated, that some kind of a heart chakra activation has taken place with this person, that they've really, in conjunction with them, perhaps even sort of this energy here with the Five of Cups, this sense of sort of loss and almost like wasted time, missed opportunities, really investing in one another, with kind of the idea of building towards something solid and stable, only to kind of have that, either through this person's self-sabotage or other circumstances, to have all that kind of go to waste, all that work and what you had built toward each other, getting to really gain this closeness, getting to know each other, and just have that all be for naught. That the pain of this, kind of this repetition in these cycles, really might have sparked something or spurred something within yourself, really compelled you on this self-loving journey. A choice may have been made recently, in fact, to kind of reinvest that energy into self, filling your own cup rather than waiting for this person to come back around and to be ready to give in a very reciprocal manner. With this Four of Pentacles, this can definitely talk about being a little bit blocked off. So that kind of ties in also with like some heart chakra blockages that could be going on. This person a little bit resistant to emotional intimacy, or has a very difficult time expressing love, expressing emotions. Maybe somebody who's very resistant even to saying the words "I love you," has kind of some triggers and some wounds about intimacy that they're still working with, and so they're very guarded as far as that heart space is concerned. Kind of also this energy that ties in with the moon of really keeping a lot to themselves, what their intentions are, what their long-term hopes and plans are for this connection. This can also indicate somebody who kind of withdraws to focus on work from time to time, that this is kind of a comfort zone for this person. This is a safety to where when things get very intimate between the both of you, when there's a lot of vulnerability that is expressed, when you've made some kind of an emotional declaration to them, or really expressed love to a certain degree, then this person kind of retreats back into that comfort zone, into focusing on what's practical and understandable to them, something that they have a grasp on, something that they have control over. And kind of at the detriment or expense of really investing and emotionally opening up and kind of taking that chance to step beyond fear and really trust that on the other side of that, something very beautiful can occur. With the star here, this does indicate that as much as you may have kind of redirected your focus elsewhere, that you still have some hope that this person will change, that as hopeless as the situation may be, and kind of this round and round with this person, and as much as, again, you've kind of chosen to reinvest on yourself at this time, that you're leaving the door open a crack for this person. All the love hasn't been poured out from you. This doesn't feel like a completely lost cause or a sense of a hopeless person, but somebody that you're really just trying to give them this space to sort of figure things out, kind of taking a different approach, kind of the mindset that the next time this person comes back around, or maybe they have recently even tried to reapproach you, and you've taken a very different method here, where you've kind of closed yourself off. You've rejected that sort of offer, and that has led to them feeling a sense of disappointment, kind of this tower moment, this crumbling down, kind of breaking out of those cycles and those patterns of what they were used to experiencing with you, that has really propelled them within themselves. The star can also, really, because it comes after the Tower in the major arcana in tarot, this can indicate kind of the conclusion of a dark night of the soul. So again, any kind of sense of sadness or loss at this situation, kind of this wish, this dream that you had of some kind of security, some kind of a solid foundation, seeing this as your forever person, and how their actions, they're really not on board with that. They're not participating fully, or only in a very limited capacity in kind of building this dream, that this may have really kind of plunged you into a dark space in yourself, where you've really had to evaluate kind of what your role in all of this with this person has been. What are you really feeding into? What are you participating in? And how is that kind of resulting in this sort of perpetual sense of loss and misfortune between the both of you? Kind of these hopes, building that hope only to have those hopes sort of dashed or spilled over. And so this can really talk about that process of just kind of metamorphosis within yourself, learning to really raise your vibration, to kind of come out of this sense of hopelessness and really strategizing a plan forward. What you're going to say to this person the next time, something different, kind of breaking out of that cycle, or an action that has been taken that has really illuminated kind of a new way of being, a new chapter of being as well between the both of you. And we also, on this card here, we've got the full moon in the background. So we actually just had the full moon in Sagittarius about a week ago at the time. It's a timeless video, so at the time when I'm recording this reading, that was the case. But, you know, just take that as it resonates. The full moon could be significant to kind of this time period, maybe when this person will sort of make a reemergence, or the full moon can really, any full moon can really illuminate something for you. Full moons are also a good time for release, as we kind of transcend out of that fullness into sort of the waning phase, the kind of the descent of the light of the moon, until we transition into that next new cycle with the following new moon that occurs. So this can also really talk again about sort of breaking out of those cycles, breaking out of those habits and that pattern, a previous way of dealing with this person, and also some kind of a reflection that they may have gone through, some kind of an awakening, like a heart chakra activation within them, some kind of energy of a dark night of the soul based on really experiencing something different with you, some kind of an ultimatum, some kind of line in the sand, that was drawn, that really dictating to this person that kind of the round and round that you guys have been doing, that it's not really, it doesn't work for you anymore. You need something more. You need something more solid and more stable. That a decision really has to be made. Commitment and further effort needs to be put in by this person. And kind of that rejection, or really putting your guard up, establishing some boundaries with this person, could have really propelled them into this energy of introspection within themselves. So this can also resonate as far as that clarity having come, and this person wanting to kind of reemerge in your life, to begin a new cycle with you, one that is more based on kind of that equal give and take, maybe some aspects of these shadows within this person, these things that were triggered, these issues with emotional intimacy that they had, this person really having worked on these things, transcended these things, and kind of in this energy of hope as well within themselves, that it's not too late for a second or third or whatever number chance with you. Also with this page here, kind of feeling that they maybe have just started this process, they may just have a little something to offer you, but at least it's something in the right direction. So hope that what they have to demonstrate to you, beyond just words of change, but actual actions of change, or kind of the beginning of those sprouts of the seeds that were planted and kind of tended within themselves. There's hope on this person's end that it will be enough to really get you to open up your heart to them, get you to kind of remember that spark that existed between the both of you, this core of your connection, and to really lead from a space of love, to lead from a space of trust, and to allow the two of you to embark on a new cycle, on a new leg of this journey together, building in another direction. Kind of taking the time to allow this sort of very immature and kind of premature pentacle energy, solid material energy, allowing that time to kind of foster and grow and develop over time. So in terms of signs with the cups, we have water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Pentacles is more of that earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, and the star is Aquarius. So now I'm going to take a look at, what does this person want to say? Group 1. Oh, and also before I get into this, with this moon here, that can also really tie in with the moon card in Major Arcana and Tarot. So that can be Pisces and Cancer also as significant signs for you. So let's see now, what do they have to say, Group 1? Okay, and they say, I am choosing you. So it looks like this person has really made this decision to face the fear, walk beyond that, choose love, over this pattern of resistance. Something has really become clear to this person. It's starting to illuminate for them as far as kind of the difficulties that the two of you are experiencing and how their resistance has really helped to contribute to that. Something has also really been illuminated for them, maybe in kind of a change in your behavior, your approach to this situation. Again, that energy of the line in the sand being drawn, that ultimatum being given. And so this person may want to express to you that they've made a choice to change, to really step out of that old pattern of behavior, to open up more, even having that discussion where they are, recognizing and addressing that there were some deficits within themselves that really needed to be addressed and transcended. That can be that page energy, that first kind of step, that first stepping stone toward building something in a different direction between the both of you. And we also have cold. So this can really talk again about that energy of kind of the hot and the cold energy between the both of you. This person, coming in, things being really good, only to have them really close off and distance themselves. So this can also talk about this energy of the dark night of the soul that this person has been in, facing these shadowy aspects of themselves and learning to transcend these things, learning to really love themselves in that aspect of themselves as well. And they also say it is hard for me to explain things. So that ties in with that kind of trigger that they have around emotional vulnerability. Somebody who may not have been shown the best examples of how to really talk about their feelings. Somebody who really may have come to equate love and loss in the same category. And it's something where they've been operating out of a space of triggering. And something that you've said or some kind of a change in the behavior, a change to the approach to them. And if this is something that hasn't happened yet, a decision that you make to respond to them differently when they come back around, that this is really going to propel them into that energy of introspection, to be able to sort through kind of their role in all of this, to be able to really put to words things that, explanations that are owed to you as far as kind of that hot and cold energy coming in, things being really good, and then at that precipice of the next step being necessary or inevitable, or it's just kind of the time for that, this person really pulling away, and the confusion that leaves you with. They're recognizing that, that's very unfair to you, but, it's their love language. It may also, with this Pentacles energy, gift giving may be more what they are accustomed to. Paying for things or providing little tokens or trinkets, as opposed to really speaking about the truth of their heart, really expressing themselves. Even saying the words, I love you, might be difficult for some people. So let's see, what else do they want to say? Group 1. Okay, and they say, I need security. So there we go, a confirmation right there, as we had on this Witch's Cottage card with the security. So this can really talk about, again, focusing on kind of the material realm, money, finances, career as a safe zone, a comfort zone for this person that, it's not for a lack of love that they are withdrawing from you, but it's just emotions are something that they really need to work on, some wounds that really need to be addressed and kind of transcended. Somebody who needs to step into a space of trust, somebody who maybe feels most comfortable only really investing fully in things that are predictable. So things in the material world, a very kind of, maybe somebody in general that's not a big risk taker, but just had like a very solid plan for their future mapped out. Somebody who doesn't really like to kind of deviate from the plan, somebody who may have kind of some issues with control as well. And of course, when we enter into the realm of love and romance and emotions, all bets are off at that point. It's very much an energy and kind of an aspect of our existence that requires trust. It requires flow. It requires equal give and take. And it's not something, that can be quantified or predicted or really encapsulated into a very, predictable and explainable box often. The heart wants what the heart wants. And so all of that could feel very much outside of the realm for this person, just in terms of, leading with their heart, learning to trust in general, as opposed to going with what is safe and predictable and known. And they also say, I admire you. So again, this kind of distance is not for a lack of love. They really do have a lot of admiration for how you also are able to talk about your feelings. You're able to trust in that, trust in the power of love, lead from the heart space. It's something that they look up to. They're almost looking at you as an example as they're kind of going through this metamorphosis, this evolution within themselves, for kind of how to do that. Sort of looking to you as kind of the results of that when you trust with your heart, when you lead with love, and sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't work, but you continue moving from that space, learning to kind of recognize and appreciate the lessons that come in tandem with the blessings from sort of living from that heart center. And they also say I have trouble with intimacy. So yeah, that was coming up in terms of, really outside of this person's comfort zone. Maybe they've only really experienced love gone sour, or times in the past when they tried to express their truth, it didn't come out right, or was something they were really ridiculed for, or other times when they've opened up their heart in the past and the situation has just kind of crumbled of its own kind of natural sort of timeline, or, shelf life, so to speak, or just other people that they were dealing with that were operating out of a place of distortion that created these wounds within this person that they've never quite healed from. Somebody who's just kind of avoiding those wounds by redirecting the focus on something else, something that, is very almost lacking in emotion, or kind of activates the logical mind, the practical sensibilities, as opposed to the emotional space. So somebody who's transcending those comfort zones, and who may want to approach you again with this energy here, and it says a message of love. Somebody who may want to come and make this declaration to you about, recognizing these things in themselves with that Page of Pentacles, starting to do that work. Admitting this would be the first step to kind of solving and correcting and evolving beyond that problem as well. So I'm going to get a few more messages from them, from their higher self, group 1. Okay, and they say, you've awakened a spiritual force within me. So yeah, that was coming through with kind of that energy of the heart chakra activation, and something about this connection, maybe something you've said, or even just the way you are leading with your heart, letting love guide you, that it's really triggered something within this person. It's sparked something, it's awakened something. This person feels to be on this journey, or is coming out of almost this energy of the dark night of the soul, really taking a long look at themselves and recognizing kind of the patterns and the habits and the ways of showing up in connections as far as, love and even friendships are concerned, or relationships with family, and kind of how they may have only been sort of skimming the surface, recognizing that there is, a whole other kind of vibration or wavelength out there for them to experience. And the interaction with you, kind of the work you've done on yourself, even reinvesting in yourself, kind of pouring back into that cup of love for yourself, that's really shifted something energetically for this person. It's kind of jostled them awake, to where they're kind of forced to look in the mirror, to face themselves and transcend these shadows, and really accept themselves for who they are, for how they've been operating up to this point, and then making a conscious decision to kind of move beyond any sort of behaviors or belief systems that have really been limiting their ability to experience and express and enjoy love. And they also say your touch ignites a sun within me. So another card of awakening there, and this intensity of the love that they feel for you, this magnetism being very drawn to you, not for a lack of love that they are pulling away, but just somebody who really has some deep emotional wounds. It feels a lot of it, for a lot of people, it might be somebody who just, grew up in a culture, in a family where feelings weren't really talked about, emotions weren't really discussed. They might not have seen parents who were very loving or very affectionate with one another, and it's something, or even a family environment where that was really discouraged. Emotions were really shamed, the expression of these things, and so it's kind of developed into this tendency with this person to kind of only focus on the antithesis of that, just very practical matters as opposed to matters of the heart. And they also say, I want this. So yeah, this person is definitely committed to changing, to stepping into that best version of self, to discarding these old patterns and ways of being. They're recognizing kind of the loss of the potential here, as much as they are retreating into what is safe and known, this comfort zone. they're understanding that there's a whole world that is waiting for them on the other side of that. They're starting to get this idea, this illumination that they've really been limiting themselves in terms of what this connection has the potential to offer, the joy that is possible for them, the experience of love. And so this feels like somebody, again, with that Page of Pentacles, maybe just taking baby steps at this point in time, but a very significant step forward. It feels that for a lot of you, this is someone who really wants to approach with even admitting that you were right about something, or that they have recognized something within themselves. It was nothing that you necessarily said or an ultimatum that was given, but some kind of an introspection has happened within this person where they're realizing that they can't go on living like this. They can't go on living this kind of limited and sequestered life, that they're missing out on these opportunities for joy and for fulfillment that money and success and accolades just are not able to provide to them. So I'm going to get a little bit of guidance from Spirit for you now, Group 1, about this connection. Okay, and we have returning, go with the flow. So great confirmation there about the reemergence of this person, and really with that emphasis on going with the flow. This is and that orange with the kind of sacral chakra energy there. This is somebody who is stepping more into trust in the ability for them to be vulnerable, to express their emotions. Somebody who is stepping into a place of starting to trust love. And so they may be a bit wobbly at first when they come in. This feels like new territory, new terrain for this person. So again, that guidance of going with the flow is just really encouraging you to have some patience with this person. What they may have to offer or say, it could seem small, but it's a step. It's a step in the right direction. And kind of your receptiveness to that, your ability to honor and give them that space to kind of open up and sort of step into this new way of being very organically. It gives them that confidence and that reassurance and that sense of security and sanctuary that it's okay, that this part of themselves, expressing this dormant part or this highly neglected part of themselves, that they are accepted for this, that it's a learning process, and it's something where, a step in the direction of communication is so much better than continuing in the energy of just sort of suppressing and holding everything within, or kind of denying things, or really deflecting. So I'm going to get a little more guidance for you, Group 1. Okay, and we have radical self-acceptance. You are perceived the way you perceive yourself. So this can really talk about some mirroring that is going on, or that you're being guided to really take a look at yourself and what this person is reflecting to you, kind of this fear of intimacy or this avoidance of emotions, really taking this time, this opportunity as kind of this person's making their way back to you to really analyze and assess and see even how have these experiences with this person and sort of this loss and these sort of perpetual cycles that you are in with them or have been in with them. In what ways has this really caused you to kind of close down your heart space, to kind of close off to love, maybe not trust as much in leading from the heart space? Really this encouragement to accept yourself, flaws and all. Accept yourself for kind of where you are at in your development and on your healing journey. And then also really applying that lens, applying that standard to this person, accepting that the steps they're taking, they might be small, but it's a step in the right direction. And when you accept that progress is being made, maybe not on your timetable, but that it needs to develop very organically. This is something where, this doesn't feel like an energy of someone who's just going to plunge fully out of that comfort zone. It's going to be kind of bit by bit, with that page energy, just sort of step by step, gradually moving and stepping into a new way of being. And when you move into this space within yourself of really accepting maybe the process that you've gone through, the time that it has taken you to come to this place of self-love and acceptance, for yourself, then it can also really help you to kind of give that gift to this person, to allow them the time and the space to not be pushed in a direction that they are uncomfortable with, but to really come to this conclusion on their own, to really do this work on their own, to take those gradual steps forward to, you know, breaking the cycle between the both of you, and a cycle largely within themselves and their relationships in general, or the way that they just kind of deal with emotions. It feels like somebody who even, for the most part, really denies emotions to themselves, just kind of focuses on anything other than the emotional body. So all of this is definitely it's new terrain for this person, and it may take kind of a series, sort of layer by layer, of breaking out of this pattern, breaking out of this habit or this way of being, in order for that kind of new version of self to emerge. Kind of a trial and error process as well, where again, sort of this wobbly energy of they may only be able to give a little bit. Some of it may be confusing. It may seem kind of insufficient or lacking. But as long as there's consistency that is displayed, both consistency in your recognition of the efforts that they are making, and also consistency of this person to continue to press forward through that fear, to kind of resist the urge to fall back in comfort zones, or if they do, to kind of course correct, to pick themselves back up and get back on that path to establishing a new way of being. As long as there is this kind of momentum, even at sort of a drawn out pace, that it's something where, you know, evolution can definitely occur, that a small step is actually a large step forward in terms of kind of the cycle that you both have found yourself in. And this could be a door that's opening to a whole new experience with this person, a new way of being able to, you know, express what both of you want, and really being able to make some solid progress toward that kind of that deepening of the connection between the both of you, or that evolution to the next step and the next phase in this process and in this journey and connection overall. So I'm going to get some initials for you now, group one. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Okay, so we have J, Y, T, Z, V, P, S, B, K, H, U, A, and R. So those are your messages, group one. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the Mica as well as this group of cards. So let's take a look and see who's headed your way. Got the Knight of Cups, the High Priestess, the Emperor, the Lovers, loss, grief, sadness, resurrection, fire, passion, and witch, healer. So this could definitely be a twin flame situation with the Lovers here. And if you resonate as the divine masculine, this could be your divine feminine coming back with the High Priestess, kind of as a more evolved version of self, kind of operating from that more sort of healed and ascended vibration. If you resonate as the divine feminine, then this could be your masculine with the Emperor here, somebody who may have previously been operating kind of out of pride and ego, but has in some way transcended that. With this energy here under loss and resurrection, this could be a complete ending that has occurred between the both of you, some time that has passed, kind of the dynamic between you, that there was no going back from that. With fire, this could have been kind of bridges that were completely burned between the both of you, or almost a sense of kind of in this separation where you've mourned this connection, you've mourned this person, almost akin to the death of somebody. That this is something also that can really talk about an ego death that needed to happen, a dark night of the soul that the both of you were really propelled into, and kind of coming beyond that, rising above that, sort of also with this fire, this phoenix from the ashes, and kind of coming out of that rubble and that destruction of whatever existed or occurred between you in the past. That this is really it's allowing the opportunity to come back together in more of an aligned vibration. Some spiritual awakening could have taken place, activations, downloads with the High Priestess there, something that has really become clear to this person also with the Knight of Cups and the High Priestess about the spiritual component of this, or really seeing you as this counterpart, as this soulmate energy, this desire to come back in with this very heartfelt love offer, where in the past, again, if they were operating kind of out of pride and ego, not really wanting to participate fully in this connection, or being very overwhelmed, perhaps by the energy exchange between the both of you with this fire. This can also really talk about Kundalini awakening energy. So all of these activations and kind of this expansion that the both of you have felt, and instead of really leaning into this person could have really pushed this away. With this witch card here and the reference to healer, this can really talk about this self-healing journey, this self-love journey that the situation between you has propelled both of you in, that you have really gone inside. You've either sought to go inside or been forced to really go inside, maybe through a series of tower moments, or just through kind of the results of what happened when the two of you sort of parted ways the last time, when this connection was almost burned to the ground between the both of you, and that there was nowhere really to go. There was nothing to really salvage, that it required a complete reimagining of who you are as individuals, who you know, what you mean to each other. And in order to really have this opportunity for a new beginning, it would require elevation and evolution beyond the people that you were previously. You could have really mirrored for each other and highlighted and triggered some wounds within yourself. The circumstances of this connection, or even kind of the things that were activated, could have brought up some past life wounds, really activated some psychic gifts that could have also put you on some kind of a journey, an actualization of yourself as a light worker, or some kind of, you know, maybe you've sought out energy healing, Reiki, for example, meditation, past life regression, just any number of things to really self-soothe, to really get to the root of some of these kind of wounds or aspects of self that have been triggered by this connection. And in varying ways, this energy of mirroring Feels very much like parallel paths that you two were walking toward getting to kind of the heart of the matter. Maybe this person really taking the time to explore why they sort of pushed away this wish fulfillment, kind of this energy of this very kind of well-matched person, this soulmate, this yin-yang energy with the lovers here, with the angel also, this very, you know, divine connection, this very high vibration connection that could have been quite outside of the ordinary of what they were used to in love. This person could have been somebody who was really used to a series of heartbreaks, was kind of closed off to love when you were dealing with them last as well. And so kind of the passion and the magnetism and what that activated within them could have been very triggering, again, of some kind of baggage or residual wounds from heartbreaks of the past that they were still carrying with them. And in this time that you've been apart, a lot of healing has taken place, a lot of self-knowledge, self-actualization, to where this person has really recognized kind of how they've been operating out of a place of distortion. And with this Knight of Cups and the High Priestess really wanting to come back in with an offer of love that is not just, you know, kind of this energy of, well, obviously there's chemistry and there's attraction here with this passion and this fire. But this is also something where, you know, there's this deep emotional understanding that they have for you, this deep sense of kinship that they have with you, this deep desire, almost being magnetized back to you, and wanting to come in and really express this appreciation that they have for you as somebody who kind of set the bar to a whole new level in terms of love and in terms of experience. If this is somebody who, you know, has dated other people or has looked for love in other capacities, they've not been able to reach that kind of level of soul fulfillment that they've had with you. And so it's really been this journey that they have been on to step beyond pride and ego, their expectations of what love should look like. Maybe there's a lot of differences between the both of you, kind of this opposites attract energy. And so there's been this process of having to transcend that limiting belief of kind of what the perfect partner is for them, to step into this place of also reclaiming their power with the Emperor here, from other past heartbreaks that may have really left them with a sense of equating love and loss, kind of the grief and the sadness that they've been carrying around. And again, with this mirrored energy, this feels like a journey that you have been on as well, perhaps also healing and kind of putting to rest, sort of saying your final goodbyes to this connection, maybe having moved off in another direction, perhaps dating other people, or really just investing in yourself, really seeking to, you know, do this shadow work, this healing, to step into that best version of self, kind of come out of that darkness and into the light, focus on abundance and on the things that really bring you joy and uplift your vibration. And really having moved to this place of being very okay with where things are at between the both of you, kind of stepping beyond that loss, beyond that grief, and just sort of redirecting your focus on your passions, maybe having harnessed this connection between the both of you, the perpetual connection that has existed and continues to exist even in separation, utilizing that to really fuel your own abundance, to fuel creative endeavors, or to in some way really, you know, plan and strategize the hopes and dreams that you had for this connection, recognizing the ways in which these were not able to be fulfilled, but then taking those things at an archetypal level to really manifest for yourself experiences or even new people in your life that are of that compatible vibration, seeking to create for yourself a life that is in resonance with your authenticity. Maybe you've gotten on this, again, this kind of spiritual path, this healing path. You could have had some kind of a career change, or this is something that you're really focusing on, you're investing on to either through energy healing or in some way really kind of transmuting this pain, this loss, this grief into a sense of empowerment, into a sense of inspiration for others, maybe mentoring others who are on a similar path, on a similar journey. And so it's this energy, this change within you, and kind of this parallel journey that this person is on that is really kind of drawing them back to you, not in the form and in the energy that you were dealing with before, but as an elevated version of self, as somebody who has also kind of walked through that fire and has really risen beyond a lot of the limitations that had interfered or blocked this connection in the past. So in terms of signs with this fire here, this can be fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. With the cups, we have water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. High Priestess is also Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. The Lovers is Gemini, and the Emperor is Aries. So I'm going to take a look and see now, what does this person want to tell you from their higher self, group 2? Okay, and they say distant. So this to me is really talking about that in the separation, in this period where, there's been this kind of the death of the connection, this dark night of the soul. A lot has changed with this person. A lot has evolved with this person. This feels like somebody who, with that Knight of Cups, is making this move towards you with a lot of integrity that may have really been lacking in this person before, or in some way they weren't really cherishing and valuing love, or maybe were only seeking really superficial relationships, kind of keeping love at arm's length in order to avoid kind of the irritation of some of these wounds that they had been carrying around within them. This is also the energy of really acknowledging those kind of subconscious wounds, those long buried sort of wounds or disappointment from love in the past that have really come to this person's attention, and kind of at a distance from you, behind the scenes. They've been doing a lot of work. They've been doing work to really elevate themselves, to kind of step beyond that energy of distortion and step into that higher vibration. And they also say, I've been having weird dreams about us. So you definitely could be meeting with this person in dreams. Also on this Lover's card here, there's a pair of dolphins. So telepathy could be pretty strong between the both of you at this point in time. But this is also really talking about kind of these dreams, these resurrected dreams that this person could be having about a future with you, because of the circumstances that occurred in the past, the ending, almost this sense of bridges being burned. This person may have really had to kind of put this connection to rest within themselves, just sort of redirect their focus on things that were really taking priority, some other kind of wounds or deficiencies within themselves, or maybe some tower moments that happened that just really called for them to step into that transformational energy. And now that this transformation has taken place, it might seem very unusual to them that all of a sudden they're feeling you again. They're starting to imagine a future where they may have for a while only seen kind of a disappointment, something that was that didn't work out very well, that they weren't very proud of how they showed up in the past in this connection, and sort of this energy of feeling that it would be hopeless, that you wouldn't possibly open your heart to them again, or that there's no coming back from this. But this can also be this energy of sort of this hope that is germinating, kind of seeing things from a new perspective, and recognizing that there's still life in this. There's this resurrection, this re-sparking of the energy between the both of you, or something within their heart, having a very keen awareness that this love that they have for you, it has never gone away, and it's really starting to take center stage of their focus in terms of trying to kind of find a way back to you. And we also have nostalgic, so again, that energy of really thinking back on the good times with you, thinking back as well on kind of the ending that occurred, and sort of in this process of moving past that hopelessness, that feeling of there's no changing this, there's no coming back from whatever happened, and stepping into this energy of hope to at least try, to at least put themselves out there, having trust and reliance that the work and the awareness that has happened within themselves and that they have done on themselves will be sufficient to kind of meet you at that new level, at that new vibration. Sort of proving energetically and etherically that change has happened. This feels like somebody who just, their entire outlook has really changed. A weight, a heaviness that they were carrying around, almost this dark cloud that was following them, has kind of lifted, has sort of dissipated. They've left that behind. And so this may even be very obvious to people in their life that change has occurred, that they're more in a space of peace within themselves, and that's kind of exuding out. And so maybe some feedback that they're getting from other people about these very positive changes, things that are starting to go very well in their life, that it's filling them with the sense of possibility that as much as these other circumstances have changed, as much as they have changed, that there may be hope that there is change that is possible in this connection as well. Okay, so we have, I see life differently now. So again, that kind of elevation in the perspective, this illumination that has occurred, this ascension journey this person has been on, where they're really starting to see kind of how the wounds within themselves negatively impacted this connection, or really created some blockages or limitations for themselves in the past. And also somebody who saw a situation where there was no hope, there was no coming back from this, that they're starting to recognize that glimmer. They're starting to work up that confidence to take a chance, to put themselves out there. They're starting to see the possibility and the potential of hope, where it may have been very hopeless before. And they also say, I want you so badly. So that's that energy of that fire and that passion and that deep magnetism, being very much compelled and drawn back to you, sensing the changes that you have made within yourself and really resonating with that. Kind of this evolution that has taken place within the both of you, this healing on these sort of parallel journeys. You're both now in a position where sort of coming back together in this reconciliation energy, even just, to have a discussion with this person, that you're both operating from a different perspective, from a different vibration. And so the experiences of the past, kind of the climate of the past between the both of you, change has happened. You've both stepped beyond that. You've closed that door. And so you could also be sensing energetically sort of the influx of this person's energy, this desire, these dreams, these thoughts about this person, this nostalgia, this energy of wondering, of yearning, of desiring, that is kind of sparked again after a period of having to kind of put that to rest and refocus on other things. And if that's the case, this is definitely, they're acknowledging that this is very mutually felt, kind of this resurrection of that initial sort of spark and that draw that sort of brought you both together in the first place. And they also say, I compare others to you. So that was coming through as far as if they had maybe tried to date other people and just not really reaching that level of soul satisfaction, that intensity. You've raised the bar for this person in some way. And this feels like somebody who is kind of completing their journey of searching without, searching, for that satisfaction, searching to kind of duplicate that or replicate that in others. And they're coming to this realization that there is no comparison, that the two of you are very much entwined, very much linked, and there's this desire to move back towards you, to stop kind of fleeing from this or running from this. The ways in which this person has really healed some other issues within themselves that they were running from, it's starting to kind of bring that perspective to them as well, that kind of running from that happiness and that wish fulfillment, and that it's kind of with this elevated perspective and this healing that has taken place. It might be very difficult for them to connect at such a deep level now that they've sort of tasted that and they know what's possible in terms of the boundlessness that love has the ability to take on, but that may have only been experienced previously and then subsequently in this connection with you. So I'm going to get a few more messages for you, group 2. Okay, and they say, in my dreams, I see a beautiful future with you. So second reference to dreams there, and also that nostalgia energy, thinking of the past, imagining a potential new future between the both of you, daydreaming a lot at night, meeting in the astral realm with this person, and just really, again, this kind of hopefulness that is sort of created a shift within this person. It's creating this momentum forward. This feels like somebody who has dreamed about this for a while or thought about this for a while, and they're starting to kind of gear up into action mode, to step forth, to make a plan, to reach out, to put themselves out there, and just really to trust that the best possible outcome for the both of you will come from that. And they also say, we will find each other one day. So that's that energy of magnetism, the journey back to each other. The journey into self has really been a journey back toward each other ultimately, I feel. And this person is really, the more that they are starting to really understand themselves and love themselves and accept themselves, they're recognizing the ways in which you mirror one another, the ways in which you really complement one another. And so this really also, in conjunction with the I compare others to you, this is somebody who is kind of concluding that search to replicate or duplicate this energy elsewhere, this connection elsewhere. Somebody who is really understanding that this connection is, it's very much exalted. This is a situation that is very unique. It's once in a lifetime, very much a destined connection. And so any kind of energy of running, this is sort of somebody who is kind of put on those brakes and is sort of turning around, course correcting, to head back in your direction, kind of armed with this knowledge and this truth, having transmuted a lot of pain into wisdom, kind of taking back their power, stepping into that sort of healthy state of empowerment. And so, wanting to approach with a genuine love offer, something that is very, full of integrity and is very much taking into account the spiritual aspect of this connection. And they also say, I want to protect you from my scars. So right there, they're really addressing those inner wounds. And so kind of if it's a slow progress back to you, they're sort of wading their way through some fears. This recognition is kind of a double-edged sword within them, where they're starting to see how kind of these this baggage that they were carrying around with them, maybe from the past and previous heartbreaks, that it was very limiting, and they've done a lot of work to heal themselves, but they're also very aware now of how powerful those wounds have been, and so there's almost this uncertainty as far as, have they done enough healing work? Healing, it never ends. It's kind of layer by layer. When we think we've healed something, we often come back around to it at a later point from a different kind of perspective. And so some of that could be occurring as well, where these things that this person may have thought that they had just kind of put a lid on, that they had kind of left behind and released, something is maybe coming back up. It's kind of triggering them. Even the idea of moving back towards you could be bringing up kind of these ghosts of the past, these reminders of sort of these things that had subconsciously or otherwise held them back from this connection previously. And so it's sort of this energy of being very slow moving towards you, progress being made, but at the same time kind of working through that fear as it's coming up, sort of step by step and layer by layer for them. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit for you now about this situation, group 2. Okay, and we have transcendence, achieving success. So this is some really positive encouragement here that, this connection, this person is geared for a rebirth between the both of you, that the person you were dealing with, the level of vibration they were operating at previously, the baggage that they carried with them, the wounds, unaddressed things that really kept them at a limited capacity to give and receive love. They've done a lot of work on this. They've really transcended some obstacles within themselves, kind of this energy of the phoenix rising out of the ashes, both of you in this very mirrored and parallel energy here. And so strong guidance that a rebirth, a new chapter, a new way of experiencing this person may be on the horizon for you. So I'm going to get a little more guidance for you, group 2. Okay, we have inner life. Your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. So this is really talking about that shadow work and, really seeking to kind of extract the root of any wounds that may have been operating as a wedge or a barrier or kind of a means of sabotage in this connection in the past. This is really talking about the work that this person has done, but is also encouragement to continue this process within yourself, sort of healing coming in layers and, digging deep within. Working on cultivating that space of peace and acceptance for what you've been through with this person and in other aspects of your life, kind of having compassion and gentleness for yourself as you're going through this process, and also recognizing sort of the hard work, kind of the growing pains that this person has gone through, and just really, with this reference also to garden, this is really talking about, abundance, and can also be kind of a prelude of a very abundant chapter, a very pleasing version of this person that then shows up to you, where, this is not just somebody who is talking about change or who says that they intend change, but somebody who has actually cultivated that within themselves. And this imagery here, this almost, it looks like kind of a flower, but then also a galaxy. And so this is really talking about, you know, this opportunity to kind of step into a new realm of experience with this person, a new way of dealing with each other, a new way of understanding this connection. That for a lot of you, this is kind of the next stage, the next level in this. Kind of two people who have been activated, who have gone through this kind of spiritual awakening, who have learned to love themselves even in their darkest kind of corners and moments. And it's with this kind of love and this healing and this acceptance of self, maybe this new path as healers, as light workers, that you both have really embarked upon, or kind of the spiritual self that you have chosen to nurture and cultivate. That the version of each other that you were dealing with previously, this version is gone. You have stepped beyond that. You have transcended beyond that. And so this door is really opening for the both of you to kind of experience this next layer or this next chapter in the journey together. So I'm going to get some initials for you now, group 2. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Okay, so we have G, B, V, F, L, C, Z, J, I, E, T, and K. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the Snowflake Obsidian and also these cards. So I'm going to start with taking a look at who is headed your way. We've got the Knight of Swords, Three of Wands, Knight of Wands, Seven of Swords, the Temptress, seduction, deceit, a broken promise, Book of Shadows, secret, and Beltane, fertility. So with the Seven of Swords, this can definitely be somebody who ghosted you, who just kind of cut off communication very abruptly, sort of snuck off very quickly from this connection. This could also, with the Temptress here, there could have been a third-party situation involved in that. Even somebody who chose another person over you. Or somebody who may have looked at you as well as kind of this energy of a forbidden fruit. There could have been a situation where one or both of you was in another connection, perhaps in a marriage. And so although there was a lot of passion and a lot of desire with this Beltane card and the Knight of Wands here, this urge to really move towards each other, to really experience this connection, to explore this connection. This could have been something where this person felt very kind of held at a distance because of other circumstances or some kind of a sense of obligation. Even if there weren't other third parties or other relationships involved, maybe something about you really reminded this person about a similarity to somebody that they were with in the past, that really brought up a lot of wounds for them, triggered a lot of memories, and they kind of unfairly just equated you and the potential of what could happen in this situation with what they had experienced before with this other person. And so rather than talking through these fears, this could have also, with the Seven of Swords, been somebody who just abruptly kind of cut off communication. With the Knight of Swords, could have just been very kind of quick and blunt with what they were saying, not leaving a lot of opportunity or room to really discuss these things. With the Secret, though, and this could have also been somebody who really just denied having feelings for you, but with the Secret and all this kind of passion-based energy of the Fire of Wands here, this is somebody who actually did and still does have a lot of love for you that they're kind of hiding within them. Even in this distance, even as they may have kind of set sail in another direction with this kind of ship out here in the horizon. There may be geographic distance that separates the both of you, or a lot of time that has passed. This does not diminish the intensity of their feelings for you. There's also a sense with this Three of Wands card here, and this energy of nostalgia, of kind of looking back, this energy of a missed opportunity, having missed the boat somehow, having made the wrong choice or the wrong decision. Maybe even if it was not another party, a third party that was really kind of the interference here. This can also really talk about third parties in terms of mindsets, in terms of belief systems. With this Beltane, and this really talks about kind of the energy of marriage and of commitment. This person could have been very traditional in terms of their ideas of love and marriage and family, and somehow you didn't fit into that equation. Maybe you were somebody that had been divorced, or maybe you had children from a previous relationship. Maybe there was just some circumstance that didn't really fit into this person's either cultural idea. You could have also been different cultures, different religions, something that they just didn't see how that could work, how that could really fit in or be accepted into their world. And so they cut this off, denied these feelings, suppressed these feelings, or just kind of moved in another direction. But there's been this energy of regret that they've been harboring within them the whole time. This could be somebody who also watches you from afar currently, kind of this secret admirer energy, maybe fake profiles, or even just kind of anonymously sort of, Googling you, looking you up online. If you don't have an online presence, they still could be kind of putting their feelers out there, maybe making a point to spend time around people that you know mutually, or if they live in a kind of a proximity to you, going to places where they think they might run into you or hope they might run into you, or even a person who has attempted to look you up online only to discover that there's maybe not much information or not much there. This can also be somebody who's really tapping in energetically from afar, seeking to actively kind of engage with you that way. Somebody who could also be utilizing divination tools, or maybe getting readings about you, or watching readings online, tarot readings, pickacard readings, readings about twin flames, about soulmates, about lost love. Somebody who's definitely, from kind of this distance of the past, or kind of this chance that was not acted upon, or that was kind of cut away from and moved away from. There's been this lingering desire that has also traveled with them across time and space. With this Knight of Swords and this Knight of Wands, this also talks about somebody who has this desire to kind of cut away from the cycle you find yourselves in, and to step forth with this really acting upon these feelings, this passion, this attraction that they have for you. Maybe other circumstances have changed in their life, third-party situations that they were involved in, or you were involved in, have really come to a conclusion, that there's been time for healing to take place, to kind of put those things to rest, and just time has gone on, and that this person is really feeling this kind of spark, or this reignition, that now is the time, that the circumstances between you are just right, or any obstacles that were in the way have kind of cleared away. They've kind of vanished off into the horizon, to where it's not this immediate jumping back in, but enough time is being given, maybe out of respect for a third party, or just time to heal, trying not to jump back too quickly into this situation or into love again, maybe respecting the need, or what they would anticipate as your need to maybe heal from some things. Even a little bit of energy of hesitation from really coming back in, kind of fearing this Knight of Swords energy from you, fearing that you would cut them off very quickly, that you would not be open to them, that you would not be receptive, or even might be kind of unkind or cruel to them based on whatever their interaction or behavior was with you in the past. But this definitely feels like somebody who has some deep feelings for you, a very tangible magnetism that could have been apparent at the time. You both may have exchanged a lot of flirtation, a lot of suggestiveness between the both of you, or even kind of discussed, or sort of tiptoed around, or even sort of kind of crossed that threshold ever so slightly into exploring this connection, only to have this person really pull themselves back, to cut themselves away, to kind of let better judgment, or a sense of obligation, or some other obstacle, to allow that to be the choice that they made, what they deferred to. Kind of someone who is not acting in accordance with their heart and their desires, but out of what their logical mind, or kind of the fear, the opinions of others even, would have really dictated for them. And so also with this energy of the broken promise, this could have also been somebody that you really had discussed maybe leaving mutual partners for, and you had maybe gone through with that, and this person sort of broke that promise. They stayed with that spouse, or they stayed in that connection. This can also really talk about sort of a contract that you both had prior to this incarnation to meet up with each other, kind of this soulmate energy, or even twin flame energy, this contract to really activate something within yourself, really shine the light on some abandonment wounds, or kind of to expand the perception of what love is, to break out of this very 3D and linear kind of view of the progression of things, to sort of add in this sort of wild card, this shakeup, to really realign yourself at a particular point in time on this path of experiencing this higher and deep love, and kind of the challenges that would bring, learning to kind of trust in one's own heart, and to trust in those feelings, and kind of the ultimate purpose of that. versus any kind of sense of obligation or duty to perhaps a situation where maybe it was kind of a toxic marriage or a lot of codependency happening, but somebody who maybe because of traditional beliefs at the time didn't really believe in divorce. And so they were kind of sticking with a partner who was sort of, there was a lot of deception there, a lot of not really expressing and attaining each other's needs, but two people who were just kind of together for sort of the looks of it, the appearances of it, or because that relationship was really approved of by friends or family, or someone who really stays with someone for the kids, but then it's kind of two miserable adults kind of creating that tension in an environment of that. And so something that this person has really evolved beyond, they've really broken away from, something that the two of you really had set out, again, prior to the incarnation, to challenge each other to do, to step beyond those kind of bounds and confines and open up the potential of a new narrative, blaze a new trail in terms of what is possible in love, in terms of setting that example of truly living from the heart space as opposed to living in accordance with other sort of expectations in the comfort zones of those around you. So in terms of signs, with the swords, we have air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, and the wands is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So I'm going to get some messages from this person's higher self for you now, group 3. What do they want to say? Okay, and they say, I can't walk away. So this can really be that energy of maybe a third party situation, or even a belief set, a culture or religion, even another relationship that they chose to stay in. They chose not to follow their heart and to just stay with what was predictable and known, or what was very much approved of, what they were currently entangled with. But this can also really talk about past energy, where they're in the point of walking away from that, making the decision. I feel for a lot of people, that decision has already been made. There's already been a change, kind of a breaking away, a cutting away from something that was previously interfering between the both of you. This can also really talk about this energy of kind of this perpetual love and this desire that they've had for you. As much as they have tried, they can't walk away from the feelings they have for you. They can't walk away from this desire, this passion, this very much being drawn back in your direction. And so this also feels like somebody who has kind of given up that sort of effort of running, somebody who is succumbing to this, who is admitting to themselves that they have these feelings, and kind of moving beyond those fears of kind of the possible consequences of that, and understanding the potential rewards that exist on the other side of really taking a chance on that, exploring that, expressing that, and honoring those feelings. And we also have fantasizing. So that can be that energy of kind of that secret admirer, dreaming of a new beginning with you, kind of also thinking about the what ifs. What if they had made a different decision? What if they had moved toward this connection rather than pushing it away or cutting things off between the both of you? Fantasizing about a new beginning now that a choice has been made within themselves to sort of cut themselves away from a third party situation or a belief set, something within themselves, some kind of wound within themselves that kind of kept them at bay from opening up their heart to love maybe again. And also that energy of you perhaps reminding them of someone from their past who had hurt them. And so as they have kind of walked away from that, they've kind of healed that, they've put that to rest. There's this fantasy, this desire of being in a place to be actually open and able to receive and give love in a healthy and reciprocal way that they weren't able to previously. And we also have passion, so that's definitely that Beltane, that fertility, and also that Knight of Wands energy, a deep attraction that this person has for you, that they've had for quite some time. As much as they may have tried to distract themselves, this has been the constant. This is the driving force that is kind of causing them to sort of turn that ship around, to kind of come back from that horizon and to try and re-enter the orbit of you and what the potential that might have been there, kind of this missed opportunity or sort of this false start, this desire to really give into that, to really breathe life back into this connection as well. So let's see what else they have to say, group 3. Okay, and they say, I don't know what comes next. So there could be almost this sense of fear and hesitation holding them back based on what was said in the past, a choice that was made, a choice over for another person, or a choice not to act upon these feelings, not to move toward this connection. Understanding kind of the pain and disappointment and loss and heartbreak that could have really caused in you, or did cause in you rather. Understanding that it might not necessarily be a warm and inviting welcome that they are walking into. Not really sure what to say or how to come back from this, or even if an apology is owed and they deliver that, not really being sure what comes beyond that. This also really ties in with that energy of fantasizing and kind of not really being able to fully grasp or trust that the fantasy can become a reality between the both of you. And also thinking in a kind of a positive way of not knowing what comes next, this anticipation, this excitement of taking a chance, this new beginning that's possible, this new level of love that is beckoning them, moving out of this energy of kind of denying themselves, viewing you as forbidden fruit, and taking that chance to take that bite, to take that taste, to savor this, to really step towards this, and very much excited for everything that can unfold beyond that they have been feeling and have been wanting this whole time, but have been in the energy of denying to themselves. And they also say, will you ever make things right? So this really feels like something they have been telling themselves over and over again, really feeling these kind of alarm bells that a wrong choice was made, or moving away from this connection or pushing you away was not the best decision. And so this feels like almost signs and reminders that have been coming in to them about you, that have really been prompting them to reevaluate this, to reconsider this, kind of this pressure that they're putting on themselves to kind of transcend these obstacles, to take a stand, to be very assertive, to going after what their heart wants finally, to make things right between the both of you. But also this uncertainty that kind of fits in with the not knowing what comes next, not knowing if they're ever going to be able to make it up to you, if they have what it takes, if this passion and this love is enough to really spark and reignite a potential new beginning between the both of you, if this love is enough to carry you through kind of dealing with some trust issues, or dealing with some wounds that may come up that need to be addressed and sort of heal and transcended, understanding that could be a process, a very gradual process of sort of gaining this entry to your life again, recognizing as well that kind of the position that they once held with you, they're very much at a distance from that. It's going to take a lot of work, time and progress to be able to kind of get back to that level with you, and kind of this uncertainty of if that's even possible, or if so much damage has been done that it's a little too late. And they also say, I still feel the pain. So again, that regret that seems like it was very immediate when the choice was made, when they said something to you, or ghosted you, or cut this off. Almost a sense of immediate regret, this sinking feeling that they'd said the wrong thing, they'd made the wrong choice, but the statement had already been made, the choice had been made. And somebody who just kind of went along with that momentum, followed through on that because they didn't, they didn't know how to take back their words. It took some time to really be able to sink into that, to feel that and experience that the choice that they had made, it was a life that was less luminous than what was possible with you. And so something that they really, they've carried this heaviness and this weight of kind of these unexpressed feelings, these repressed desires that they have for you, not living their authentic truth, but living in accordance to some kind of an image or expectations of others. So I'm going to get a few more messages for you, group 3. See what this person wants to say. Okay, and they say your light is so bright. So they're very much drawn to you, magnetized to you, desiring this, desiring to experience this passion and explore this connection. But there's also a bit of intimidation there, almost this energy of kind of putting you on a pedestal to some degree, recognizing kind of the pain and the loss that they have propelled you through, and sort of a journey that you may have gone on to really step into kind of a healed and better version of self as a result almost of kind of this pain and this darkness that this person through their actions sort of plunged you into. That they're also understanding that what might have worked in the past, the approach, the method of the past, that it's going to require something more. They're going to have to continue to elevate and hold this high vibration in order to really be able to gain back your trust and even be kind of an adequate match for you at this point in time. And they also say we can build something special together. So there's this hope that love can carry you both through. There's this feeling, this certainty that they have that life with you would be far more glorious than whatever other direction that they had chosen. It was sort of the energy of settling that they were in before, settling for maybe kind of meeting the expectations of others, or settling for a connection or a partnership that was already established, or that was known, or was comfortable, or had some kind of strings attached to it. But there's this sense when they think about this connection and they think about you and they fantasize about moving back in your direction, taking that chance, expressing their truth. There's this sense of that opening the door to a deeper experience of love than they have ever known, and kind of fueled by that passion and that energy, this understanding that this can ripple out to all aspects and areas of both of your lives. And they also say, I can't find the words for my feelings. So they can definitely understand that it's going to take a little more than I'm sorry or hi, how are you doing? This person is really understanding that they're going to have to, be very creative in what they say. They're going to really have to get to the heart of the matter. They're going to have to be very expressive. They're going to have to step outside of that comfort zone, perhaps even hesitating a little bit, like with that Knight of Swords, holding back, not wanting to have that difficult conversation, or being a little hesitant to open themselves up to kind of the backlash or the pushback from you. And so somebody who is kind of in this process of really strategizing what to say, taking into account all possible reactions from you, and to really just plan what they want to say, plan how to really put to words kind of this realization that has happened, so that it comes in as from a place of truth and integrity with that Knight of Swords also, as opposed to like with Knight of Wands just being kind of this person coming in this Casanova energy, wanting just a good time, a quick time, and then wanting to kind of disappear again. And so there's this desire to really touch on the attraction that they have for you, touch on those feelings, but then also get into these deeper layers and these deeper levels as far as the truth and this understanding that they have of this kind of very much this compatible energy, this long-term energy that they see with you, this desire to really build and express these feelings and this love for one another, with the intention of that carrying you forth beyond just a very kind of immediate and sort of superficial and very quick scenario. This feels like somebody who is more interested in kind of that slow burner, something that has longevity, something that can last. So I'm going to get some guidance for you, group 3, about this situation. Okay, and we have trust, love, and friendship. So this is really guiding you to, look at this person with an open mind, hear what they have to say. You might be quite surprised at sort of hearing everything that you knew was true, but that they suppressed or denied all along. This can also really talk about building that kind of basis of friendship, that foundation of love and trust, that as much as the both of you are most likely still very attracted to one another, still very compelled toward one another, this person coming to that realization, they're also, again, understanding that this is going to take some time. This is going to take some effort to kind of regain your trust, to sort of re-enter your life and get to that point of intimacy and kind of this mutual expression between the both of you that might have been kind of hinted at, or you might have kind of been skirting the peripheral of, that a foundation of friendship and of love in other manners is definitely a necessary component to this. So somebody who, with that Knight of Wands also and the Knight of Swords, somebody who, you know, is driven by passion but is exercising some restraint, somebody who's trying to let their logical mind sort of hold them back, kind of rein in that passion so that, you know, it doesn't come in as very overwhelming. And so you're definitely guided to kind of do the same, to, you know, feel your feelings, express these feelings, but also use your logical mind instead of just jumping too quickly into things, you know, taking time to kind of build this, that kind of methodical process of sort of step by step over the course of time, that, you know, when this person comes back around, this doesn't feel like any rush will be necessary. Kind of that sense of urgency that might have been there before, that might have made this feel very much like something that needed to be kept secret. Maybe other people involved or not wanting others to find out about that. It seems that a lot of this has been eliminated. So you both have time. There's time in this situation to kind of do things right this go around. So I'm going to get a little more guidance for you, group 3. Okay, and we have interintegration. There is peace, equilibrium, and fulfillment in integrating the inner wild with the taming and tempering effect life has on us. So again, more of that guidance there to, you know, allow yourself to experience your feelings, express these feelings, but then restraint is definitely your best friend in this circumstance. Taking the time, being very deliberate, sort of piece by piece, page by page, moving through this process with this person. There's probably a lot that needs to be discussed, a lot that needs to be brought to the surface that was kind of hidden, a lot of explanations that need to be given, and kind of time taken to digest all of that, to kind of build that trust. And just really you're guided to, you know, as intensely as you feel and as glorious as this might be, to have this person come back around, to finally get it, to finally see that light, to be able and willing to participate in this connection in a way that, you know, they weren't able to, they were kind of held back from, or chose to sort of hold back from previously. This is something that's going to take time to kind of move beyond the past and what has happened between the both of you, to kind of integrate your hopes for the future and to build that in sort of a methodical way, day by day. This passion, you know, it's not going anywhere. It's been with the both of you this whole time. And so there's definitely, you know, some guidance here to kind of let that be a slow kind of pressure valve release, building that anticipation and kind of building those firm blocks, that foundation between the both of you, can really help to serve the longevity of this connection, fueled by that passion and that attraction and magnetism in the long run. So I'm going to get some initials for you now, group 3. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Okay, so we have H, L, B, X, M, W, C, E, G, Q, and O. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.